Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Sylvia and this is Curupisa Crochet, and also sometimes I do some knitting too. Here you can see me serving and sipping some of my mate, which is a typical beverage here in my region in Posadas Misiones, Argentina, to present to you this nice project that you can see here, very joyful and colorful. It's a crossbody bag that I designed thinking about what my friend Tamara likes, and she's a huge fan of an artist called Romero Britto. He's a Brazilian artist, and well, he's Brazilian and lives in Miami, and he's the starter of an art movement called Happy Art Movement, I think. He uses bright colors, and many of his art pieces feature some kind of drawings and shapes, very neat and with very solid colors. And many times he uses these thick lines, black lines, uh, to outline the shapes. So something like that I try to do with this design. You can see here it's a simple bag. It has no lining. I only put a nice button. Of course, it's not a bag that you would wear on a formal dinner. It's more for when you take a walk around your town. And you can see here that it features some stripes. It has, as I said, no lining. In this case, I chose an old button that I took from a jacket that my husband used to wear and that got old. You can see here it has some kind of shaping. And of course this appliqué that I will show you how to make on another tutorial. If you want to keep it even simpler, you might choose to make only the basic shape of the bag, and you can see here the back of the bag. What kind of stitches I used? I combined some chain stitches, single crochet stitches, or double crochet if you're in the UK, some double crochet in US terms, that's to say treble crochet, and a few slip stitches. The apple was done by working in color work. I did some color work or tapestry crochet, and well, but that's for another video. Now for the materials I used to make this bag, I weighed the yarn that's commonly done here in Argentina and some and other places in Latin America, and I have about 100 grams of yarn. It's cotton yarn. The skein has 251 yards or 230 meters, and it's a sport weight yarn. So that would be the total yardage and weight of the yarn, but you can see here I used some yarn leftovers, and it's very useful when you have those yarn ends and leftovers that you want to get rid of. Also, I used one of my favorite hooks. It's a 3.5 millimeters or E hook size, a button as I told you, a darning needle also. Starting, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. So let's move on to the project. So let's move on to the base of this bag that you will see I did by working only these 3 chain stitches, and then I'll continue to work with the foundation double crochet stitch or foundation treble crochet if you're in the UK. That consists of beginning to work with almost no chains at all. So chain 3 stitches. On the first chain, insert the hook, yarn over and pull through that first chain. So you have 3 strands of yarn on the hook. Yarn over, pull through one of these loops. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So you've constructed this first stitch that works as a chain, and then the double crochet or triple crochet, and then go on like that. Insert the hook, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 1 and twice through 2 loops. So you go on working like this until you reach the measure you need for your bag. That's up to you. I mean, I used for one of the bags a base of 24 stitches, and for another I chose to make a base of 28 stitches. In this one, that's another I've already been working on. So you see here the base has 28 stitches. For this one, I'm guessing I'm going to make 24 stitches. And this foundation double crochet or treble crochet stitches I'm making will work as a base around which I will be making the next rounds, because we will be working in the round first on top of these stitches and then around them on the sides and on the bottom. And keep in mind that you'll have the amount of stitches that will work on the top. So if you have 24 stitches, in this case I have 7, will work on top of the 7. We'll work on the bottom of the stitches, so we'll have 7 more, and on the sides, grabbing the bodies of the treble or double crochet stitches, we'll work 2 more stitches. So your base won't be only 24 stitches, let's say in this case, but 4 more. So I have completed the amount of stitches I needed to begin with the first round. So I've finished this row, now we'll work in the round. For that, I'll begin on top of the last stitch and do this kind of simulation of double or treble crochet stitch that I've already been working on in other projects. I have 1 double crochet or treble crochet on the body of the stitch of the same stitch. I will work, it's a rebel, 2 more stitches, and then on what would be the base of this same stitch, and again on the other also, I'll make another stitch. You would do the same on both sides and then continue to work on every one of the bases of the stitches. So you see here I'm reaching the end of this part of the round. I've been working on the base of the stitches, and here is the last one of this side. I'll work. These are the 3 chains I started with you see here. I work one double crochet or treble, and by grabbing the body of the chains I'll make 2 more stitches and a last one on top of that one, because we'll return to the top of the stitches of the base. And now I only have to work on top of the stitches of the base row. That's to say on the other side. And it's kind of easy, as you can see. It's one stitch on top of the other. Now I'm reaching the end of this first round. Here I'm meeting the first stitch that simulated a double crochet or treble crochet stitch. You might choose to do the traditional way of joining by doing a slip stitch on top of the first stitch, but I'll do otherwise. I'll try something that I saw on another tutorial. I don't remember the channel. You insert the hook from back to front and then pull that yarn loop of the last stitch of the round, and then go on to work as you would work in any round. Again, begin with one stitch and work around all the stitches, one stitch on top of the other. You will do this until you reach the end of the round again, and you could choose to go on with the same yarn color, or as in my case, I will continue until I find the end of this yarn color, because this is one of those old leftovers I had on my yarn basket. So I'll finish by doing as I showed you on the previous round. Insert the hook from back to front, pull the yarn loop through to the back, and oops, I should have left the yarn on the back. I'll do it again. And then in my case I will stop working with this orange yarn. I have a few centimeters left, so I'll switch to another yarn color. In this case I pull the yarn end through that last stitch, and you see it looks quite seamless, this kind of joining the last and the first stitch. And on top of these stitches I'll switch to black yarn, do a slip knot, I don't know what the heck is going on with my camera, and begin working with single crochet stitches, one single crochet stitch on top of each double crochet stitch. I couldn't work out how to fix this poor image thing. As I'm working on the single crochet stitches, I will be weaving in the yarn ends. I'm grabbing them while doing the stitches. so I don't have to weave them in after I finish, which is a task I kind of hate doing. I don't know about you. Well, here I finished already magically that round, and we'll do another stripe. I chose a lilac yarn. Again, slip knot on the hook and work as you would do with a double crochet, a normal double crochet. Yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then go on working with double crochet stitches all around and round on top of the single crochet stitches. And well, the stripe will be as wide as you would wish. In this case, my lilac yarn is a big ball of about 300 yards. You can see here I've continued with my pattern. I've worked in some cases and some colors 2 rounds or 3 rounds, and then in between 1 round of black single crochet stitches. And so you see I haven't chosen a very regular patterns. I did some stripes in 3 rounds, others in 2, and but you might choose to do it very regular, let's say 3 rounds of double crochet stitches and 1 of single crochet, and then also combine differently the yarn colors. For instance, the stripes in double crochet stitches you can make in white yarn, and then thin stripes in very colorful yarn. Well, let's grab the other project I've been working on so I can show you here. This is the last stripe of the bag, and it will be 3 rounds of yellow yarn in double crochet stitch, and in the second round I will be making the hole to pass the button right in the middle. This will be a very simple way of making a buttonhole, so you have no excuses to make this bag. But anyway, if you don't want to put a button on, you might choose to make a lining and stop working on the size you choose for your bag and put a zip on it. The buttonhole will be on the front of on the front side of the bag. So in this case I have 30 stitches on the front, and then 30 in the back. I did 14 double crochet stitches. Now I'll make 2 chain stitches and skip 2 stitches of the base and continue with double crochet stitches through to the end. I'll check if the button goes through easily, but not as easily as to be unbuttoned every time. Here you see some buttons I have collected through the years. This one reminds me of a candy. The yellow one is my daughter's favorite. This one I told you is from my husband's old jacket, and this one I think I grabbed from the ground while taking a walk. And most of these buttons and others that I keep on a box I bought from an old notion shop called La Pilou here in Posadas. That shop is not open, has not been open for decades. So here you see the buttonhole, and then you continue with double crochet stitches until you reach the end of the round, and then work another round of double crochet stitches to complete the stripe. Here you see I've added one round of single crochet stitches in black yarn, and now I'll proceed to work on the strap of the bag. In that case, you need to locate to distribute the stitches evenly and to detect where the stitches on which you work on the sides. In this case, I choose some kind of teal green yarn, I don't know. I'll work on top of 4 double crochet stitches, so I have to grab 2 on the back side and 2 on the front side of the bag, on each side. Here you can see this is where I will begin working in these 2 stitches. Here. But first, to begin with, I'll do a slip knot and proceed to make 1 double crochet stitch. As you can see, this yarn end will be hidden while making those double crochet stitches, 3 and 4, and don't worry about it, I'll hide it later when I do that last row of black edge. Turn the work and begin again working on top of those stitches. It will be 4 double crochet stitches or treble crochet stitches. I hope it's not getting too confusing, but I'm trying to translate the crochet terms every now and then. And well, continue like this until you reach the size you want this strap to be. Keep in mind that this strap will stretch when you are wearing the bag, so don't make it that long, because it will happen to you as it happened to me when I remember in the 90s I made a nice bag that I used. It was a crossbody bag in a combination of stitches, front post double crochet stitches and back post. It was a combination of stitches very in fashion in the 90s, and maybe I'll try to reconstruct that kind of bag for you in some other video. Well, what happened was that I made the strap very long, and I ended up tying a knot in the middle because it was so long that I kept hitting it with my knee. That's how long it became, how stretchy that strap ended up being. So I've reached the size I wanted it to be, I mean the strap, but didn't join it to the other side of the back. I'll do the joining while working on this edge in black yarn. For that, I'll insert the hook on the single crochet stitch that is next to the first double crochet stitch that you can see here. Pull the yarn over through it and then continue to work on the bodies of the double crochet stitches. I mean on the side of the strap. On each double crochet stitch, you will work 2 single crochet stitches, as I did here on the first one. This is the second on top of this. And maybe you find it necessary to do a single crochet stitch on the stitch that is on the joining of those 2 rounds. So be careful not to make it too frilly or too tight. In my case, 2 single crochet stitches were enough. Here I've reached the end of the strap. This is another bag actually. And while turning around this strap, I will also do the seaming to join it to the other side of the back. In this case, instead of counting 4 stitches, I'll count 6. The first and last one will be to place the black edge. Remember to distribute evenly those stitches to each side, the front and the back. So in the third, from the corner, I insert the hook from the outside to the inside. Also insert the hook on the strap, yarn over and pull through as if you were making a single crochet stitch, and complete it in that manner. Then insert the hook in the edge of the bag and in the first double crochet stitch of the strap. Yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through that loop, through the edge of the bag and through the loop you had at first, and continue like that. So it's a joining that you will be making by crocheting a single crochet stitch but inserting into the same stitch the edge of the bag. So this is the last stitch. In that case I do a slip stitch, and now I'm turning to the other side of the strap to complete this black edge, and I do it again as I did on the other side. 2 single crochet stitches on the side of each double crochet stitch. If it's getting to, you feel it too tight, add another single crochet on that stitch that gets in the middle of those 2 double crochet stitches. And so when you reach the end, just do a slip stitch, cut the yarn and pull it through, and then weave in that yarn tail. As you see here, I have a smaller version. I did the joining. Here I finished the round. I have to maybe hide this knot that the yarn had in the middle of the skein. That's something I hate. I hate many things, as you can see. Here I had the buttonhole, and I'm considering putting this button because it's my daughter's favorite, and that small bag will be for her. Well, this is it. This is one bag, this is the other. As you can see, they both have irregular distributions of fronts for each stripe. The next tutorial will be for this apple that I'll show you how to make. It's a bit more complicated than working in stripes, but I think you'll be enthusiastic and will be joining me so you can get the same result. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And let me tell you, I'm also in other social media and networks. You can find me on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, Tumblr, Telegram even. And in all of those spaces, you can find me as Curupisa, so follow me there also. I hope you like this project. In that case, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. I enjoy reading and answering to your comments, and well, share the video with someone who would find it useful. And I hope to see you in the next time. Bye bye.